Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Tyler Rugge, and for today's video I wanted to talk about the topic of purchasing pets from chain pet stores like PetSmart and PETCO and stuff like that, and also kind of getting into the topic of adopting versus buying from breeders. Just going to touch on that a little bit, but mainly I wanted to talk about buying pets from chain pet stores because this is a topic that I've talked about on my channel before, as well as like on live streams and on Twitter and stuff. And I just wanted to address everything I think there is to address about it, because there's a lot of stuff that people don't realize. And when I tell people that you shouldn't buy pets from chain pet stores, people say stuff like, well, aren't you rescuing it if you're buying it from a pet store? And the answer to that is no. Even if a pet is kept in bad conditions at a pet store, you should not buy it to save it, because you're not saving it. You're just promoting bad business and bad husbandry. And I'm going to get into that a little bit. But first, I want to talk about, just in general, why you should avoid buying pets from chain pet stores like PetSmart and PETCO. I know there are people who watch my videos who work at these pet stores, and I'm not trying to attack PetSmart and PETCO as a company. PetSmart and PETCO do a lot of really good things for animals, as far as adopting animals out, donating stuff to animals in need. PetSmart and PETCO, they do a lot of good stuff. And the only time I'll say it's okay to buy an animal from a chain pet store like that is if it's an adoption event where they're adopting out dogs, cats, or something else. If it's through a shelter, then it's okay. You can adopt something. But as far as different animals like mice, hamsters, guinea pigs, reptiles, birds, fish, stuff like that, you don't want to buy from a chain pet store. The first reason being, where these companies get the animals from is not good. PetSmart and PETCO, they get all their animals from these big, massive breeders that just mass produce all these animals, and then they ship them out to PetSmart and PETCO. And I'll insert a few pictures here of the conditions that these animals are kept in. It's honestly very disturbing. These animals are kept in horrible conditions. And I'm not talking about at the pet stores. I'm talking about before they actually get to PetSmart and PETCO. The breeding facilities are horrible, and these animals are kept in horrible conditions, are not treated properly, a lot of them are very sick or injured, and they don't get proper veterinary care. Again, that's something you can look into more, and you can watch videos on it and stuff like that. I'm not gonna like get super deep into it, but all you need to know is that it's not good. And I've seen videos where people who have actually worked at these chain pet stores have talked about it. And also I've seen people like on Twitter and stuff talk about it who have worked at PetSmart and PETCO. And people even say, like people who work at these pet stores say that the animals they get in, a lot of times they'll get animals in that are sick or injured and are just not of the type of quality that they would want to put them out to sell. So then they have to ship them back to where they came from. And they're just like these sick animals that are coming in, and sick, injured animals should not be coming into these pet stores in the first place. By purchasing animals from chain pet stores that get their pets from these mass breeders, you're giving your money to these mass breeders so that they can breed and produce more animals in these crappy conditions. And you don't want to support that. What you want to do is you want to either adopt, or you want to support local breeders who are actually responsible and take proper care of their animals. The second issue with buying from PetSmart and PETCO is, in some situations, the pet store itself does not keep these animals in proper conditions. And it's not the people who work there's fault completely. I believe that these pet stores just don't train their employees properly on how to take care of the animals, what the animals need, and stuff like that. So if you shop at PetSmart and PETCO, that's okay. I really don't think there's anything wrong with getting pet supplies from these places. I just personally wouldn't recommend getting animals from these places because they come from these horrible, horrible places. and you really don't know the health and the quality of the pets you're getting, whether that be reptiles, birds, or fish. You don't know if they're sick or if there's some kind of underlying problem that you don't know about. And the chances of these animals having an issue you don't know about are a lot higher than if you got them from a reputable local breeder, because you don't actually know where these animals are coming from or what their history is. There are some situations where PetSmart and Petco actually do not take good care of their animals. They keep them in horrible conditions in the store. And I've seen certain locations where I look at the animals and I'm like, how do you think that that's okay? Especially my biggest issue with Petco is that they sell iguanas there, and the iguanas they sell are like this big, but iguanas get like this big. And Petco doesn't even sell proper sized enclosures for a full grown iguana. So it's like, why are you selling iguanas? And then people go and buy these iguanas that are like, 3 inches long, and they don't expect them to get any bigger than that. And then they turn into these massive creatures and people end up getting rid of them. So overall, I just don't think it's a good idea to support PetSmart or Petco because they keep their animals in bad conditions sometimes. Now, some PetSmart and Petco locations take amazing care of their animals. The employees are knowledgeable and know what they're doing. I'm not like trying to talk down on PetSmart and Petco themselves, but the biggest issue here is where they actually get these animals from, which are these huge, massive breeders. And instead of supporting these huge corporations, it's much better to go to like a local reptile expo or go to a local pet store. Just these local places where people breed themselves are usually a lot better. That's always the way to go. You don't want to go to some mass-produced chain pet store. You know what I'm saying? So moral of the story is do not purchase pets from PetSmart and Petco unless you're adopting and it's through an adoption agency or a shelter or something. Now this leads to the next thing that people have talked to me about, and I've also seen people do this, and it makes me cringe so hard. And that is when someone says they went to PetSmart or Petco and they saw this hamster or this fish or whatever, and it was injured, it was kept in bad conditions, and it looked sad, and it's not getting proper care. So I want to save this animal and buy it and bring it home and take good care of it. But the thing is, you're not really rescuing an animal if you're buying it from PetSmart. Even if the animal's like on death row, it's about to die, you shouldn't buy it, because what you're doing is you're promoting a bad practice. You're giving money to this pet store that is not properly taking care of these animals. And you don't want to support that. You want to support a breeder that does a good job and has healthy animals. You don't want to give your money to a store that has unhealthy animals. All you're doing is you're increasing the demand for these animals. So if they have a bunch of mice that are like dying and you decide to go buy them all because you feel bad for them, all you're doing is increasing the demand, so they're gonna get more mice in and just put them in the same conditions. Same thing goes for lizards. If you see a bearded dragon that looks sick and you go buy it, it's just gonna get replaced by another one that's gonna be put into the same situation. So what you wanna do is, instead of rescuing animals from PetSmart that you think are being mistreated or whatever, you don't want to do that. You want to go to someone who takes good care of animals and knows what they're doing and support them. So you want to give your money to people who know what they're doing and responsibly breed animals and make sure they're in proper health. That way they can continue to do so. And what you need to realize is if you take your business to local pet stores, the chain pet stores eventually will stop selling live animals. If nobody's buying the animals, they're not gonna sell them anymore. Another thing that's great about going to a breeder is a breeder specializes in whatever animal it is they breed. So you can go to them with all your questions and concerns and everything, and they can answer everything you need to know. Whereas if you go to PetSmart or Petco, the employees there are not experts on animals. They are trained to answer some general questions, and even a lot of the times the way they are trained isn't 100% proper. There have been so many cases where I've seen pet store employees give people just very bad info and wrong care tips and stuff, and I have to like bite my tongue and not say anything because I literally just want to be like, hi, everything you just said is wrong. Don't listen to this person who works at Petco. I'm gonna tell you what you actually have to do. I am a 21-year-old person who makes videos on the internet for a living. Hello, subscribe. I would even recommend going online and buying from a breeder and getting stuff shipped to you before going to a chain pet store. You just don't want to support that type of practice. Something I want to stress is that I am not trying to cut down PetSmart or Petco employees. It is not their fault. Do not go to PetSmart and Petco and yell at the employees, because it's not on them really. It's up to, you know, the CEOs at PetSmart and Petco who are actually in charge of everything and where they source their animals from. I just think that chain pet stores shouldn't sell live animals. Go ahead, sell pet supplies, go ahead, have your adoption events. So yeah, don't buy pets from PetSmart or Petco or any chain pet store. You're not rescuing them, even if they're sick, if they're kept in bad conditions. You don't want to support that. You want to support a reputable breeder who does a good job. You want to give your money to the person who's doing a good job. You don't want to give your money to the person who's hurting animals and doesn't really care about them. You want to give your money to someone who knows what they're doing. You just don't want to support it, okay? I'm done rambling. I should probably just end the video here. If you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the matter. I just wanted to stress this very much because I know that I encourage a lot of people to get animals, so I really want to inform you guys on where you should get them from, and chain pet stores are not the way to go. Yeah. So if you guys found this video to be a little bit helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week, every few days. It's a fun time. Check out my vlog channel. I'm going to be posting vlogs there all the time too. Links to my vlog channel and all my social media will be down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Say goodbye to Nova back there.